Hi, my name is Craig Baird. I'm the curator here at the Australian National Surfing Museum in Torquay. Our mission is to tell the story of over 100 years of surfing in Australia, and one of the ways that we choose to do that is by interviewing significant Australian surfers and getting them to tell their own stories in their own words. In this case, it's 1990 World Women's Surfing Champion, Pam Burridge. I caught up with her at her home on the New South Wales south coast. So this is Pam telling her story in her own words. If you enjoy this, then why not subscribe or maybe share it with your friends.
I lived at Clontarf, that was our family home at Clontarf, so Sydney's North Shore, 7 miles away or something from Manly. I think my exposure came through swim club, because I was at swim club pretty young, I think. I have some champion trophies of about, the 33 yards and all that. So it was at Freshwater Beach, so on the headland there, just down from where the Duke statue is now, which is awesome. And so after swim races we'd go around and thrash about in the flags and ride coolites and mats, and sometimes both combined on the same thing, made it really stable. It was awesome. It's like having outriggers on it. And the other connection there through swimming, synchronised swimming, so my sister Danella, she's a synchronised swimmer, and her duet partner, so that family, their son Matthew I used to go surfing with, so we used to hang out a bit when my sister and my mum were off training, and so that was a connection to a surfer, because I didn't have brothers. So there was no real window for me to get into surfing other than that. I must have had a desire to do it. I skateboarded down the street in Cutler Road, all the time before I surfed. So it was just that thing of swimming, skateboarding, bit of a family association. So Matthew's dad, John, he had made boards for the 2 boys, and I guess the eldest one didn't use his anymore, and I got given to me for my birthday at 10, and that was my first fiberglass board, and I promptly went down to Freshie and gave it a go. When I went to Duke's Day this year, the 100 years since Duke came and did that demonstration with Isabel, I was just getting chicken skin all the time, probably going to start welling up talking about it, but I was that full circle thing, This is where this is where I did my swimming, this is where I did my surfing, this is where I met Isabel, she lives up the road, this is where we had our meetings in the kiosk, was in a broken down old place, and I was tripping out, and I just felt like really validated, it was awesome. I felt something that's deep and meaningful and has a connection to the past. It's like my stories, Indigenous Australians with their, their story, of the land and the sea, and that, just put it. I'm trying to use words to describe it to you now. I can't really describe it, but it just sort of snuck a little piece into me that I went, yeah, and maybe it's just getting older and you're more comfortable with who you are, and it's not so much a search anymore. It's just like oh yeah, right. I was on this continuum that was really connected. Running from one edge of the pool, jumping on it and stepping off the other side. Like, to my mother's horror, I can still see her, woo, like I do if my kids do it now, run. And that was before I surfed. And then that day when I went down to Freshwater Beach with my brand new fiberglass surfboard, my birthday's in July. I got it from a present in July, so it's like late July. I had a little short john to brace myself against the winter cold at full length of the beach, close out freshwater, I remember, and in the middle of the beach there, and take it down. I was taking it down and going, oh, what am I supposed to do? I can still remember going, even though I'd caught waves before, it was like this was a totally foreign thing and I had no idea at all. And I didn't get to figure it out myself. I went out and caught a few waves, and then I was due to go and get some surgery, so I had to go into hospital and have surgery, and I wasn't going to surf again until summer. So, but that little thing just sort of, I just remember the questioning of, what the hell do you do? And then just having a go and go, oh yeah, pretty good, but I still don't really know what I'm doing. And then I'm getting really cold, and having dinner at the Harbour Diggers. That was like my other birthday present send off to go to hospital for a couple of weeks. And then going to surf school in summer. I was booked into Warringah Shire Council Surf School for the pre-Christmas one, so the earliest one they had, you know, those 2 weeks before Christmas, when the holidays used to be really long when I was a kid. They were like 8 weeks long or something. And going every day, I think to the 6:30 session, like 6:30 to 8:30. And when they first started talking, I was just like, awesome, like just information, wow, and just being star pupil, you know, just loving it. Like most of the people I grew up surfing with, I didn't really know, they didn't know, well, when I was a grommet, they didn't know I was a girl, that was the other thing. Like, tell the story where the guy at Freshie paddled up to me and said, "Get a haircut, mate." And I just didn't even answer because I never spoke anyway, and just sort of in my own breath, "Oh, a girl." You know. So yeah, I got away with it for a few years as fully under the radar, you know. So I never got tied to a grommet pole and I never got bashed. I just kept my head down and got my waves and did my thing. First heat I ever surfed was just like that. It's like, I have no clue what you do, but I'm just going to catch heaps of waves. And when I came in, I'd won that heat, which was a one heat thing. There was six of us in that one heat thing, and I won it, and I got a sloppy Joe, meaning a sweater. It was like almost like I dare not say it. I remember I must have said it to my parents who want to go in, because obviously they're going to take you there and pay you $5 or whatever to get you in. You know, I must have just wanted to do it, and I didn't do any other sport by then. Tennis had been out the window. Weren't allowed to play footy because no girls could play footy. Otherwise I would have been playing footy. I would have played for Manly at halfback. I would have been really good. But yeah, so there was no other team sport, and I was pretty driven and putting a lot into it, so I guess I just wanted to compete. And then there was a few junior events started popping up, like under 14s type comps, which was, so I got sponsored by McCoy probably not long after I won that one heat wonder heat, you know, the Manly Daily, famous in the Manly Daily sort of thing, and got the push from them. But that's how it happened, you know, just get into these little comps, got a sponsorship with McCoy, felt really famous and sponsored, you know, woohoo, I'm so cool. Got, I think my first wetsuits were piping hot wetsuits, had them for my first season, and then went to Rip Curl. But so, you know, it was just that hunger to surf in, just that thing of thinking you're pro when you're 13, 14, you know, and wanting to chase it, and going in national titles. So I went in some state and national titles. I didn't win my first national title I went in. I got, I think, 3rd or 4th, and from that, then I won a couple, and then I had to go pro because I went to Hawaii, and I surfed in Hawaii, and that was you know, and it was really strict about the amateur pro thing. So if you actually, even though you didn't win any money in a pro event, if you surfed in it, you were pro. I mean, it kind of suited me in a way because I was from Manly, and I would surf in anything. So I had a pretty good pedigree in surfing crap. So, you know, but yeah, it was. I accepted it, I think. I think I just accepted it, that's how it was, you know. Oh, it's crap, send out the girls, you're on. And the best thing ever was when Bells went to a format where the girls finish on Saturday. That was hilarious. Saturday morning, it's 6 foot, it's offshore, it's pumping, it's low tide right through. Oh my God, I should see the boys jump up and down, but that's it, that's what it was, you know, and we got some really good waves, and it was awesome. Well, my first trip to Bells, I went with Mum and Dad, and we stayed at Anglesey, and I was devastated, because everyone else who was cool was staying at Torquay, and I was staying at, I can remember the bowling club was just up behind the little cabins, and so yeah, funny, you know. It's a bit like my kids today, you know, it's like all about being in cool school, like, you know, do these mortifying things. Where are you staying? Anglesey. Sorry, Anglesey people, it's a lovely place, I'm sure. But as when you're 14, must have been 13 maybe. But yeah, I was so yeah, I was with Piping Hot, I was with McCoy, surfing in the trials, and I mean, my memories might sort of morph into one, like those early years of the dirt car park and the move buses, Big M's and whatever, Big M it was, wasn't it? Yeah, on the hill and the Rip Curl bus. Just the cold, oh my god, and like biggest board I would have had would have been my only board at 5'8", maybe 5'7", and so yeah, I didn't surf probably as good as I could have. I just remember being really hard to get waves, but being totally starstruck, you know, like seeing all these pro surfers that from Hawaii, and like more the boys than the girls, because my memories of it now being up close and talking to all those girls and being one of them was pretty amazing, you know. But then I was this cocky little brat that thought they were all old as my mum, half of them. God, you're just disgusting when you're a teenager, aren't you? And but yeah, just being like, oh wow, look at there's Bobby Owens and there's Mark Richards and well, there's Lynn Boyer, there's Margot Oberg, you know, just famous people. And I was into buying the magazines, or at least getting them from Manly Library and seeing them. So that was the place where, because of Torquay, but even though we weren't staying there that first year, but over those first few years, that little town, you really did hang out with all those people, see them, watch them surf, and it was very exciting, really exciting time. And you go down and get your product. So if you're sponsored, you know, you get your new Weddies and you feel all important, and you know, it was fun. So even though there wasn't a lot of money, it was pretty cool. You know, to practice is really hard. You don't get many waves really tough in the lineup. And so that's when I took to doing the pre-dawners. And it's really cold pre-dawn at Bells, isn't it? And but I'd get a few waves in the semi-dark and just find my feet and then maybe go in. That one year in '81, I was down for the pre-dawner, and I raced in and went, oh, there's waves, there's waves. Started getting my board out of the car, and Shane Horan's jumped out of the bushes, just skulked out of the bushes, and he just, have you seen a set yet? And I'm like, oh what? And then he's just like, you know, made me wait and watch, and it's like corduroy to the horizon in the semi-dark, and he's like, you're not going out there. And I put my board back in the car, in the boot of the P76 perhaps. When you're in a heat at Bells and you're sitting out there, and later on when you had priority and there's a set wave coming to you in all its glory, like a really nice Bells wave, and some of them are kind of shitty and some of them are beautiful, you know, the ones that just seem to have a wall the whole way, and just paddling into them and going top to bottom, and it was just a thing of beauty, you know. You're just so excited. And my early things that I used to watch too were videos of Bells and watching heats of Shane and MR surf and how they'd finish their waves. And I wasn't that good at Bells, and that's why I never won it, you know. I got second a bunch of times when it was right, you know, a bit of size. But yeah, there was always someone there that just beat me because they'd have that bit more, usually a natural footer. But you know, I'd watch that over and over, so it was really in my, just a really big piece in the surfing puzzle. I know lots of the girls would disagree with this, but I didn't hassle that much. You know, I knew the rules in the end and knew what I should do and shouldn't do and used tactics when I could. But early on in my career, I didn't really hassle at all. And Kim Mirrig actually said that once when we were in Japan or somewhere. She said, "Oh, I love surfing against Pam because she doesn't hassle." I went, "Oh, probably should then, hey," like a penny dropping. Oh, really? But I hated getting hassled, and I hated, I just really didn't like it. I know there's some of the girls who go, "Yeah, sure, you were just a master," but you know, I wouldn't paddle you up the point and stuff. I wanted to catch some waves. And same today. I don't like hassling. Well, Margot Oberg, she managed to make me not catch a wave in Long Island somehow with no priority. 2 people in the water. I hassled her for the first wave because she started paddling. We were just tussling for the first wave as you do, and I I took her to her and she just went right. And I swear I did not get away. Still to this day don't know how she could catch a wave and be out and stop me from getting the next one, and beat me obviously. So that was my first year overseas. Went to Hawaii and ended up getting runner-up. My first of all my runner-ups in the world title race was in '82, I believe. And yeah, that was the start of the steep learning curve to take me to my world title in 1990. Frida Zambo was really tough, and Wendy both. So they were the ones who took all my world titles. No, they were winning when I was competing, and they just did it a bit better than me, obviously. But so they were really tough. But I didn't dislike surfing against them because that meant you're in the final. And unfortunately for me, sometimes making the final was kind of like, oh yeah, this will do. And hence 6 times runner-up in the world title race. Again, not quite seeing the job through. And I always went, wow, that dreams come true thing is huge. And mine did come true. I wanted to be world champ, right or wrong. Like I say that maybe I wasn't competitive in some ways, but I wanted to be world champ. And once was enough. That was fine with me. And it's so amazing that it does. Like, I remember on the day that it happened, and every time Hawaii comes around, I sort of relive it for myself and go, wow. And yeah, it's just awesome that can happen, because it doesn't always, dreams can come true and they cannot too. You can come close. But it is the journey. The journey of that is where all the I don't know, you learn all the stuff and all the real stuff happens, good and bad.